Hello, my name is Robert Kempin, and today's lesson is going to be on how to do BatchGeo. BatchGeo.com is a really good place to go to actually map out what it is that you want to see. So if you have multiple addresses, as I do here, this is a really good tool. So let me get started. I'm actually going to go to BatchGeo.com. So it's BatchGeo.com. Okay. Now, what you can do is it says copy and paste your files here. Now, if you click here, it's going to give you some data points. Right click and hit copy. What you're then going to do is you're then going to actually paste it and to give an idea of what it is that you want, the data that it's actually asking for. So this is a good template to use, and then what you're going to go through is then put in your own address, like 212 Main Street, then the city, and then the state. So you can do this. You can do this and actually then give some type of special name to it. There's something that I've been doing, data that we're going to use of properties that I'm looking for in Toledo, Ohio. So the Toledo, Ohio property is one that I'm looking up. I want to get comps for. We call this the subject property. Now what I've done is I've actually gone through and I've found the locations on Zillow.com. If you have web addresses, I strongly recommend you put them here so that you can use them and reference them in the BatchGeo website that you're doing. What I've then did is I actually went through and found recent sold data. Then I looked in Zillow and also was finding what's for sale. What I also did is in this area is I did a title report and I put in my own stuff that I found on title. Now some of the information, as you see, are going to be the same. For instance, the 17 and line number 6 are the same. I'll show you what happens when you have the same address when we get to BatchGeo. But what BatchGeo is going to do is it's actually going to take the property that's listed first, so Zillow sold properties, and it's going to hide the title sold properties. So if we were to switch it, it would show the title report showed properties behind Zillow. So whichever one's shown first, that's what they're going to use. So what you're going to do from this point, once you have your information down, you're going to go ahead and copy that information. Then we're going to go to BatchGeo, and you're going to click on it, and you're just simply going to paste the information. Now, as you can see, very faintly, there's the address here in Toledo, Ohio, so you know it's there. All you need to do is click the Map Now button, and as you see, it's going to go through and process in this case, 16 addresses that we have. Now once it's done, you're actually going to get a nice map of where the properties are located. The legend down here tells you what it is. The subject property is right here under subject property. If you click the subject property again, it's going to blow up. Now let's say that you only want to see the subject property and the Zillow sold properties. By simply clicking on the two icons, you're going to go ahead and get that information. If you want to see what the title report is, it's actually going to show you the added title reports. If we take away the Zillow, then it's only going to show the title reports as well as the subject property. But if you want to see all the properties, what you do is you simply highlight all the properties. And what BatchGeo does a really good job of doing is actually showing you on a map, and this is Google Maps, of where things are located at. The color coordinating is awesome because you can see, for example, which properties are the sold properties. Now, what I did is if you highlight over them, it'll tell you the dollar amount of what they sold for. In this case, for sale for. The blue is the Zillow sold, so the for sale. Once you go to the bottom here and you hit save and continue, it's going to ask for information. So I'm going to put down BatchGeo for Toledo, Ohio. And then here is the information. And then I'm just going to put in an email address. Okay. This I'm going to actually make public. For private just means that you can only see it, and then there's a pro version. So the email will actually be sent to you after this is done. And what it's going to look like is something like this, BatchGeo. This is one that I previously did. It's going to come up with, the first one is the actual link to the site. And what it does is it actually gives you the same information that we saw before. You can actually move the map around, which is pretty cool. And you can click off or click out on specific ones. So if you only want to see for sales and the subject property, but you don't want to see what's on the title report, you can use that information accordingly. Now at the bottom, it actually, let's go ahead and click on all of them. At the bottom of the report, it's going to show you all the properties listed. So A, B, C, D, and it's going to tell you the group. So in this case, what I've done is I've actually linked those, this Torrance Drive in Toledo, Ohio. If you click on the money sign, it's actually going to hyperlink you to the actual website that we created, or the Zillow created. So this is a pretty good resource to send out to people when you're actually doing comps or looking for local projects and you're trying to get a good idea of what values are out there. So Thornton, again, we linked it. Here's Thornton, for sale, 43,000. If you look here, Thornton, for sale. Okay, if we want to see what's sold, you know, here's one that was on the sold for 44.5. Again, sold for 44.5, and the information. So this BatchGeo is a really good resource for real estate investors that are looking to work with individuals and want to show what it is that they're doing. You can click on stuff, but this is a great resource